You might have been told that real DJs don't plan their sets. They feel the vibe and they read the crowd. Cute idea. If you're a beginner or you're a seasoned pro with only an hour to play, that can go sideways really quick. And I learned this the hard way. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to plan powerful sets, why planning matters, whether you're brand new or a 20-year vet, and how planning can actually unlock your creativity, not kill it. Some DJs, especially when they're just starting out, think planning is like cheating. If you prep a playlist or sketch out your set, you're somehow fake. And on the flip side, others go full control freak, planning every second so tightly that there's no room for the real magic. Reading the crowd, rolling with the surprises, or that legendary moment when you just know the perfect track to drop. But here's the truth. Planning isn't about either being a robot or a rebel. It's about taking the audience on a journey. You're the tour guide, and no one wants to follow a sweaty, confused tour guide with no map yelling, "Trust the vibe," while dragging everyone through chaos in flip-flops. Besides, there's more than one way to plan. Maybe it's just picking your opener, a closer, and having a couple of trustworthy transitions ready to go. You don't need to script every beat. Planning isn't about control, it's about clarity, and especially for new DJs, that clarity is the difference between building momentum or building a panic attack. So how do you actually get that clarity? Before you pick a track, you have to pick a direction. Most DJs crack open the laptop and immediately start clicking through their playlists, hoping inspiration will magically strike. But even before the music, we have to figure out the mission. So ask yourself, what kind of event or show is this? Where am I taking these people? What's the shape of the ride? Is it a slow climb or a wild drop? How do I want the energy to feel at the start, the middle, and the big finish? If you're squeezing into a 1-hour slot at a festival, you don't have time to figure this out on the fly. That's like jumping in the car with no idea where you're headed. It's fun for 5 minutes and then you're just lost and running out of gas. So before you even think about picking a song, set your direction and vibe. And to do that, you have to ask those certain questions. What is the event? What time are you playing? Is this an opening or a later slot? Who's the audience? Trust me. Your future self and your dance floor will thank you. And once you know the destination, you need to pack your bag. But one of the biggest mistakes? When DJs pack everything. Don't just dump every song you kinda like in a playlist and hope for the best. Start with 20 to 30 tracks that actually fit the vibe you picked out from earlier. When I plan, I also ask myself, how can I surprise the crowd? That might mean playing a killer remix or an exclusive edit, or one of my favorite ways by mashing up 2 songs from different genres. I like to watch my favorite DJs on 1001 track lists to get inspiration. That usually leads me down a SoundCloud and Bandcamp rabbit hole. Sometimes I get ideas at this stage in my process to make up my own mashup or remix because I just can't find one that I like. Do you guys make your own edits and remixes? Let me know in the comments if you do, or if that's something that you'd like to learn how to do. Anyway, after you have a selection of tracks, do a gut check. Would you actually play this live, or is it there just because you might need it? Can you picture where this track goes, at the opening, the middle, or at the end? If you're shrugging, ditch it. No mercy. Of course, this is much easier to do if you have an organized library and tagging system. So if you're a beginner DJ, please make sure you are curating and organizing your library regularly, because crates equal confidence. See, if your crates are a hot mess, your set will probably be one too. Planning a DJ set is like packing the suitcase. You want the essentials, you want some options, and you don't want to be digging through the laundry to find your favorite pair of underwear. So create crates or playlists based on how you think. That might mean by genre, by vibe, by time of night, or even by type of gig. Think about folders like Hype Hour, Low-Key Groovers, Genre Benders, or Open with This. The goal isn't to restrict yourself, it's to reduce decision fatigue and allow you to plan better. Now you can have the perfect playlist lined up, but if you haven't analyzed your tracks or set cue points, well, that's like packing that suitcase for vacation without checking the weather. Let your DJ software analyze each track so you know the BPM key and the waveforms. Make sure that the beat grid is correct. And many DJs have their own cue point system to help them jump around the track and make mixing easier for them and more creative. For me, I always set cue points on the first beat, the build up, the drop, and a mix out point. These are the basic ones, and I have other ones that do different things. As a mostly live streaming DJ, this has saved me countless times when I'm juggling the Twitch chat, the camera angles, and remembering to hydrate. But lack of track analysis isn't the only thing that can wreck a set. One of the biggest mistakes I've both seen and done, going full blast for 60 minutes straight. Every set, whether it's a live stream or an in real life gig, needs a shape. And that might mean opening with warm-up tracks, building to your bangers, dipping the energy mid-set to give people room to breathe, and then closing strong. I like to think of it in blocks of 3 to 4 songs. Each block has a mini mood, and that way I can shift gears without it feeling random, especially on live streams where chat energy changes fast. This structure keeps people engaged even when the room is quiet. But even after mapping out the journey, there is still one more thing we need to do to get ready for this set. See, planning your set is great, but if you don't actually test it, you're basically building a roller coaster you've never ridden and hoping it doesn't fly off the tracks when the drop hits. Now, you don't need to rehearse every second, but you should run through your opener, try a few transitions, and test your power pairs or those go-to combos that always hit just right. And this is where you will catch weird phrasing or clunky key clashes, or that one track that turns out to be way more chill than you remembered. Even mixing to an empty room is better than going in cold. You'll figure out what flows and what feels awkward and what tracks need to be benched. And this is especially true if you're a newer DJ, because you're not just practicing the mix, you're practicing the experience and the pacing and the vibe and the recovery when something doesn't go as planned. And when it's time to perform, you're not scrambling, you're ready. So now you've planned the set, you've prepped the tracks, and you're feeling good. But what if I told you there's a DJ rule you should probably be breaking 9 times out of 10? Watch this next video, and even though it sounds illegal, it might just set you free.